Well, good morning, everybody. I can't believe it. It is the first Business Tip Tuesday of 2018. I am your host, Melanie Mitro, and I'm really excited because we're going to talk a little bit about time management today. So I know many of you you've been thinking about how many of you have been working on your goals. Have you been reflecting and thinking about where you want to go in your life for 2018? How do you want to make an impact? What are you passionate about? I know that many of us have done some reflections about things that we accomplished and weren't able to accomplish in 2017, and we are ready to hit the ground running. I know that today is January 2nd. Everybody's back to work. Kids are back in school, or if you're like me, my kids are still home for one more day. But we're like getting back into the swing of things, and we're really working on the routine. So today, I wanted to share a little bit with you about time management, because I know that it's something that I constantly have to work at. And I know on the outside, you may think I'm really good at managing my time and being effective, but it's only because I've made it a daily discipline and a daily practice to be organized, to have a plan, to look at the time that I do have to build my business, and I very strategically fit in the business, activities that I need to do. And it's a constant work in progress. And I am not by any means perfect at this, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that I do that really help me to stay organized, to be productive, and to get the things that are going to help really, call them high payoff activities actually accomplished. All right. Hello. Yes, Bethany, I am feeling a little bit better. I was a little under the weather over the past 48 hours. I'm still a little queasy. A weird stomach bug it hit me in the last 24 hours, but I'm pushing through it. I'm kind of going through this, right? Okay, so here we go. One of the things that really has helped me is to have a calendar. I sat down and I look at my monthly calendar, and I always say to myself, it's not that I don't have the time. How many of you have big goals for 2018? Big things you want to accomplish in your business, in your personal life, in your family. And immediately you begin to think, I don't have time to accomplish all of these activities. It's funny because you have the same 24 hours that everybody else in society has. It's just, what do you choose to spend your time on? And when you do this very simple activity of blocking out your calendar and blocking out your time, you start to realize, oh my gosh, I actually do have way more time than I was giving myself credit for. So take out your calendar. Whether you use a Google Calendar or you use a paper planner, I want you to look at your calendar. And now I want you to put on there things like your workouts, your, getting dressed for the day, getting your kids off to school. If you work a full-time job, block out your times that you are in that full-time job. Block out evening activities, sports, or activities that you do with your family, or volunteering, or small groups that you participate in. For the next 7 days, I want you just to take this 1 week activity and block it out. What are the things that you are already committed to? Put that on your calendar. Then I want you to just put somewhere on your calendar or on a sticky note, what are your goals for the next 30 days? What are the things that you want to accomplish? And if you are, whatever business you're a part of, are there specific benchmarks within your company that you want to reach? Are there specific income goals that you want to create for yourself? Is there a social media goal that you have as far as increasing your following or interaction or traction? Are there certain videos or posts or blogs that you would like to do? Think about the way you do your business. What are your goals for the next 30 days? Just put those on a sticky note, at the top of your calendar. Now, I want you to look at your calendar. I want you to say, when am I going to work my business? What are going to be the times in the day that I am going to be productive? I will tell you, the first time I did this activity, I looked at my calendar as a brand new Team Beachbody coach. I looked at my calendar. I had a 6-month-old. I had a 2-year-old. I was a stay-at-home mom. I started to block out my day. And I thought, holy cow, I have a lot of time in my day to be able to build my business if I use my time effectively. But what I was doing is I was sitting down at my desk and I was just working. So I was maintaining what I had. I was checking in with challengers. I was commenting on people's posts. I was answering emails. I was maintaining the business I had already started. I wasn't out there doing the most productive activities. I was spending a lot of time in avoiding things like inviting and adding new contacts and follow-ups because they were harder, or inviting to my business, or planning business opportunity posts, because those were the things that made me uncomfortable, but those were actually really high return on my investment of time activities that I needed to do. And so I started to kind of say to myself, let's flip my day around. I see I've got these big gaps, right? I would say my kids got up at about 7 o'clock every day. I was getting up at 5. It took me a half hour to do a workout. So what was I doing the other times of the day? Oh, you know what I was doing? I was drinking my Energize, and then I was sitting on the floor in my basement for 25 minutes, scrolling Instagram, looking at people's posts, right? Taking the perfect selfie. I was not spending my time appropriately. I started to say to myself, if I can get down to that basement, if I can press play, if I can do that workout, give myself 5 minutes to scroll, or 5 minutes to sort of, sit there and get my thoughts organized and press play, that gives me 20 more minutes that I didn't have before. I started to become aware of the clock. I started to become aware of how long it was taking me to do activities. I started to say to myself, I'm only going to let myself make a post for 5 minutes instead of 30 minutes. And so I would do my workout. I would make my post in 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes versus 30 minutes. I'd already saved myself like 30 minutes of my morning routine just by becoming more aware. I created this sense of urgency. If I could get back upstairs by 6 o'clock, I could sit down. That would give me from 6 to 7 before my kids woke up to do my business. And instead of opening my computer and just saying, let me just start wherever the wind takes me, I would say to myself the whole time while I was working out, I would be thinking, what are the most productive activities that I need to do today? And in my mind, it would be make that call to action post, about your business. Oh, it would be inviting 5 people. It would be following up with those 5 people from yesterday. And I started to think, and I started to write those down. I actually keep like a little notebook that I take down to my workout space. And as sort of ideas come to me, I'll write them down while I'm working out, so that by the time I open my computer and I say from 7 to 8 a.m., I'm going to do my most highly return on my investment activities. And when I say highly return on my investment, that means those are going to be the activities that are going to produce a sale or a follow-up or a new sign-up, something, a referral. It's going to be activities that are going to increase my income. All right? So think about that. I block out that time, 7 to 8. If my kids sleep in, I get to do more. That's great. That's awesome. But I'm very purposeful. I don't throw in a load of laundry. I don't get distracted by side conversations. I don't answer the telephone unless it's an emergency, right? I am focused on my business. Then I know my kids would get up at whatever time between 7 and 8 o'clock. And then I was mom, getting them breakfast, getting them dressed for the day, getting them situated. And then usually I have children that do like to sit and watch TV. And so they would watch an episode of Paw Patrol or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and I'd sit with my laptop on the couch, and that would be my check-in time. I would check in with my challengers. I would maintain my business during that time because I needed to get those activities that were most important out of the way first. Then I'd go about my business. We would have a great time together. The kids would play. We would do crafts. We would go to the grocery store. But I made it a point to say every day at 2 o'clock, it's going to be quiet time in our house, whether we nap or we watch a show, from 2 to 3 or 2 to 3:30. If I could get them to take a nap, that was my time of the day that I was going to go back, and I had a time block there. So now I began to put our family on a schedule. I began to create some sort of routine in our life. And so from 2 to 3:30 was, again, another time block that I could write a blog post, that I could do a live video, that I could, do more follow-ups or follow up and answer messages from this morning or check back into my challenge groups again. And so then I would do those things instead of watching soap operas, watching a movie, getting caught up in TV shows, or calling a friend, or taking a nap because I am a napper. I would have to make myself a cup of tea, sit down at my desk, kind of get my creative juices going. And I would say, get focused, Melanie. This is your quiet time. This is your time to be productive. You have big goals that you want to accomplish, and it is worth the sacrifice right now for that long-term success. All right. Those achievements I would play over and over and over in my mind. Then instead of doing laundry and cleaning the house, I waited till my kids were awake. I could do that stuff while they were awake, but I couldn't write a blog post while they were awake. Why? Because my thought process was constantly interrupted, and it would take me 3 hours to write a blog post when my kids were awake versus 20 minutes when they were asleep. I can clean, I can run the sweeper while my kids are playing. I can unload the dishwasher while they're hanging. I mean, they can help me unload the dishwasher. They can put away their plastic cups and plates, right? I could fold laundry while we're hanging out, watching a TV show. I could do my household chores that I usually saved for when they were sleeping. I could now do them when they were awake. I just flipped my day. Now that I had this business that was important to me, I just flipped the way that I looked at my day. Then the evenings rolled around. My kids got into bed. Once they got down, I'd spend an hour just doing some cleanup for the night. I would set my intentions for the next day. What are the things that I didn't get to accomplish in today's activities? Move to tomorrow's list. If I felt like they weren't high priority activities, I just kind of took them off the list or tabled them for a time later. But this time blocking, this 2 to 3:30, that 7 to 8 in the morning, that 9 to 10 at night, it was specific. It was very specific to the goals that I had. If I wanted to reach a certain number of Success Club points or a certain number of recruits in my business or a certain income, every time I did an activity, every time I did something in my business, I would ask myself if that was helping me to get closer to that goal or if I was just filling my time with busy work. So take ownership of your plan. Take ownership of your goals. Just do this for the next week and sort of make a game plan. Become aware of how long it's taking you to do the activities that you're doing. Learn to become more efficient. Become aware when you're wasting time. Because if you waste time, you're procrastinating. You're procrastinating because it's hard. It's hard to send those invites. It's hard to send, a business opportunity invite in fear of rejection. But guess what? No change ever comes in our comfort zone. No change comes from our comfort zone. We have to be willing to get uncomfortable in order to see change. We have to be willing to do the things that are not normal in order to achieve the goals we want. I promise you. And it's not pretty either, right? So all these things that I'm telling you, they're not pretty. It's just basic tracking. It's not some beautiful social media post, but this is organizing your business like it's a business. And if you look at me 6.5 years ago, I would consider myself somebody that was doing this for fun. It was a hobby, but I very clearly treated it like a business because I wanted it to pay me like a business. And I knew that if I didn't get my own system of organization down pat, even if it wasn't pretty, I knew that I wasn't going to make the progress that I wanted to make. All right. So, and if I run out of time, Bethany, I see that you asked that question. What if you run out of time? Then you run out of time. And a lot of times when I would move it to the next day. Or I would say to myself, you know what? The goals that I've set for myself maybe are not realistic for the amount of time that I actually have in my business. So sometimes I would change my goals. I would tweak it in the process every day, every week. It was a constant work in progress. My goals are fluid. Nothing's ever fixed because, you will find you have, and then sometimes I would find I have more time on the weekends. So maybe Monday through Friday, you say to yourself, I work a full-time job. I do not have a lot of extra time to build my actual business. I go to a job that doesn't allow me that flexibility. So I would take some of my activities and I'd put them on the weekends. I would spend Saturdays and Sundays being disciplined to get up in the morning to, do all my invitations, my follow-ups. I would get myself organized. My time blocks would be more on the weekend than they were during the weekdays. So I was doing the bulk of my invitations, my follow-ups, my additions on the weekend versus the weekday. So it really is about flipping around the way you think about it. It's no matter who you are, full-time, part-time, how many children you have, you're not at a disadvantage unless you think you are. We all have the same ability to be successful. And I have seen people that wear many, many hats in life still be able to build a significant income through their at-home online businesses. All right. So this is very important. The other thing too is just really asking yourself, make sure you work in their downtime and block off time for unplugged time as well. I find that I look at the trends of social media, I look at the trends of business, and I identify trends in my own organization, days when people are more active and days when people are more quiet. And I will purposefully schedule off time when I know that there isn't a lot of things going on social media. For example, Saturday nights and Friday nights, I'm not doing invites on Friday and Saturday nights. Why? Because people are out. They're not really thinking about weight loss or nutrition or fitness. And this is my time to chill. Saturday mornings, I'll do my follow-ups. I'll do my invites. Sunday mornings, I'll do my follow-ups. I'll do my invites. But I make sure that I just don't need to be attached all the time. It's okay to unplug and have a life outside of your business. And that also needs to be very purposeful. So this will work great for you. I promise the more you practice, the better you'll get at this time blocking activity. Give yourself some buffers. I do give myself sort of a 15-minute window. When it comes to the end of my workday, I do have an alarm set for 30 minutes before I'm done with my business hours to remind me to wrap up the most important tasks, to gut check. Like I actually have my to-do list sitting here now. I'm constantly referring to my to-do list and making sure that by the time my business hours end at 1 o'clock today, that I've accomplished the most important activities. Then I'll do the same thing with tomorrow. I've kind of got my time blocks scheduled out, the activities I want to accomplish. And I always look, are the activities correlated to my goals and to what I want to achieve? So it's not busy work, but it's actually high payoff activities. All right, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Taking Back Your Life. Here's a really great book that you can read. If you haven't gotten this book yet, The 12-Week Year. It's a really, really awesome book that will help you with managing your time. It'll help you with setting your goals, breaking them down into manageable everyday activities. They do actually cover a little bit of the concept of time blocking in there as well, which really helped me to get control of that part of my life. Again, don't get frustrated if it doesn't work out perfectly. I shared on my social media this morning that I had this little stomach bug and this little stomach flu. And, yesterday I was like, first day of the year, I got to be a product of the product. Got to get out there, got to post about doing my first workout, And then this morning I was like, I got to post about my workout. And I just didn't feel very well. And I felt like, I'm a failure already, as a coach, and I'm not leading by example. And I just thought to myself, you know what? This is real life. This is real life. And not everything's going to start on a Monday. Not everything's going to go exactly as planned. But does that mean I have to wait until next Monday to start? No. Start on a Tuesday. Start on a Wednesday. Just because yesterday didn't go, my time blocking didn't go exactly as I wanted it to go, does that mean the rest of the week is a wash? No. I just start over again today. And if you have that mindset, right, you just kind of move from one activity to the next. You shrug off the failures. You don't let it get in your own head. You are going to be able to achieve the success that you want to achieve. Constant work in progress. You can do this. Let's start 2018 strong. And let's rock our businesses together. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Feel free to share this video even after we're done. Ask me questions. I'll come back in here and I will comment and give you guys any guidance or support that you need. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.